It's not so much being smart. It's not so much it's just having persistence because you get knocked down a lot. And life is when you get knocked down, you just get up again and keep going. And it happens a lot. It's like other people will do it, circumstances will do it. So you just keep going.
Yeah.
And sooner or later you get there.
Hey guys, my name is Katie Enterkin, and I'm on a mission to help humans become the best possible versions of themselves and to unveil what I like to call the beautiful beast that already lives inside us all. And welcome to the podcast about everything and a little bit of nothing. I've had the privilege to talk to all kinds of different humans who have been through a plethora, I love big words, a myriad of experiences just being a human and existing. These are real conversations with real people, getting to know each other, sharing stories that make us cry, and occasionally pee our pants with laughter. We talk about all kinds of life stuff: parenthood, business, life goals, fitness, chasing your dreams, and yes, even some animal noises are involved. For more information, keep listening. This is the Unveiling the Beast podcast. What's up, beautiful beasts? Welcome back to the Unveiling the Beast podcast. So, I'm super excited because I got to sit down with Mike Moffat, co-owner and engineer of Schiit Audio. Yep, I said that right. Anyway, Mike is super special for several reasons. He is actually quite famous in the audio world, not just as co-owner of Schiit Audio, but he's actually been in the audio world for a long-ass time. He invented the first outboard digital to analog converter. Big words, big words. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't even trip, Homeslice. You don't need to know that information to listen to our awesome interview where I got to learn how his father taught him the importance of work ethic, or what it was like to take on 2 teenage kids when he married his wife. He also opened up a little bit about some hard truths regarding his daughter. And we discussed his perseverance through case after case after case after case of illness for the last 10 years. The other thing that makes him special is that I was one of those teenagers he took on, and he's not just my stepdad, he's my other dad. He's just as much my dad as my dad is. I mean, how freaking awesome is that I have 2 dads? Anyway, as always, I hope something lands with you today. I hope something you hear tugs on your heartstrings, and or I hope you laugh. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind you that if you have been thinking about starting a podcast and your excuse is that you don't have proper equipment or a soundproof room, I am sitting in a car with Mr. Mike Moffat of the Moffats. And it sounds pretty dang good. Oh, and still holding a lapel mic. So, Mike, why don't you tell my listener who you are?
Listener? There's only one?
So far. It's my mom.
Oh. Who am I?
Yeah, who are you?
My name is Mike Moffat. I was born in Berkeley, California. I do audio gear, mostly, now.
Sweet.
I've been doing it since the 70s, building it. And I have a lot of fun.
Cool. How did you discover that you like the way things sound?
I always liked music. I'd listen to music, and then I'd get mostly involved with the music and decided it should sound better, and then built better gear.
And you just knew how to do it automatically, or did you?
No, I built a lot of pretty fucked up things, but they just kept getting better. I mean, I've been doing it a long time, actually, since the late 60s, early 70s, and that's the last century. And it just got gradually better. Number of times through that you do something, it gets better.
Yeah, trial and error.
Yeah, and if you like it, it helps.
Yeah, that's cool. So, I, have the privilege that I've already heard some of your stories before because I've known you forever and ever. why don't you tell them how you, I don't know how to word this, how you got your work ethic? Because as long as I've known you, you've always worked and done what you love. So, I guess I'm trying to get at the story that you told me about your dad taking you to various jobs.
My dad, my dad was kind of a unusual dad. He never swore much. He was always kind of quiet, but what he'd do is we'd have a summer vacation. And then the first part of the summer vacation, we'd go to some slaughterhouse or something, and he'd take me in for a tour of the slaughterhouse. And then we'd come out, and he says, see, now, if this is the kind of shitty job, well, he wouldn't say shitty. This is the kind of bad job you're going to get if you don't, try to learn better things. And then the next time we'd go to some place where they were making plastic parts and people were pulling them out of molds all day. And, that was, but I always liked audio, and, I really started doing it for a living in the 70s, and it really kind of took till the late 80s to really start making a good living off of it. I mean, not that I ever starved or went bankrupt or anything. I just didn't get really comfortable financially because, was struggling paycheck to paycheck kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for about the first 10, 15 years, but I just kept at it. And, it's not so much being smart. It's not so much being, it's just having persistence, because you get knocked down a lot, and life is when you get knocked down, you just get up again and keep going. And it happens a lot, it's like other people will do it. Circumstances will do it. So you just keep going.
Yeah.
And sooner or later you get there. And now I got there to the point where I'm comfortable with it. I mean, I'm never going to be a zillionaire, house on top of the hill, but I don't care. I got what I want. I'm living where I want. I'm comfortable there. Enjoying it. And loving life and doing what I love. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, because a lot of people won't even try because they're so scared that they're going to fail. And the whole thing is, you are going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you have to get back up and keep trying, and it might not even just be once. You're going to fail over and over and over again, which is the actual success. But people just think, oh, I'm going to start and I'm going to succeed. And it just doesn't work like that. So,
yeah, to me, it's just like, know what I want to do. And then just having persistence, just keep going at it, no matter what. And, sometimes you stumble a little, sometimes you fall on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
But
just keep swimming, just keep swimming. You saw Finding Nemo, right?
Yeah.
Just keep swimming. So, I think Disney movie is a perfect segue to ask you, how was it, I want to say 20 years ago, when you took on a wife and her 2 teenage children?
Well, I don't really let too much bother me a lot. And although one of the teenage children was maybe hostile's the wrong word, suspicious of everybody that, wasn't his immediate family,
mm-hmm.
but really more than anything suspicious of himself. You just do it. It's, it's not like what you don't do is just sit there and waffle forever. You decide to do something, and it's either wrong or it's right.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's right, it's obvious. If it's wrong, then you got to fix it. But if you don't do anything, if you don't decide anything, nothing ever happens.
Exactly.
So, like I was saying earlier, I don't even, at the table, it's just, you know, and I wasn't out to win anybody over. Certainly not with some of the trash things I did with Tony.
Can you expound on that?
Well, Tony was basically kind of like young and teenage and self-centered, and had a girlfriend that he was all proud of, and he'd bring her over and stuff, and he had one job in the household, and that wasn't much. It was just take out the trash. So we didn't take out the trash for a couple of weeks, so I just took out the trash into his room. And that was a night that he happened to be bringing over his girlfriend. And he brings her in the room. There's all this trash all over the room, and his room, I imagine, stunk by then. And, but he got it. And that was the way my dad used to treat me, you know, and it's not just taking me to a slaughterhouse for a vacation, but that was really only the first day. But he'd do things like wake me up for school, and then the second trip in, there'd be a pail of water, and there was only one third trip in ever, which of course he dumps the water on me. But that's the way he was. He just didn't say much. And I probably say too much. I say more than he did, but that's the way he was, very quiet. And he was just somebody that, did what he said he would.
Yeah.
And didn't do what he said he wouldn't.
I think that carried over into you. For sure.
Yeah, it seems like I talk more than he did, but he didn't really have much to say.
Yeah, the talking thing and definitely the cussing.
Yeah.
By the way, you're allowed to cuss on this podcast. If it's like a really bad word, I'll put an animal noise over it or something. Oh, so are you willing to talk about like deep stuff?
Oh, let's give me a try.
Okay. So, you had your 2 teenage stepkids, and
yep.
You definitely became a second father to both of them. And but I wanted to ask you about your daughter.
Yeah.
From college.
Yeah.
Can you tell us that story?
Her mom's name was Judy. She was, her mother was from the Bixby family of California, which was a big pioneering California white family that basically owned a lot of stuff, primarily up in the Santa Barbara area. And they were sort of big and socially, and the kind of there'd be newspaper articles about so and so and so and so made her society introduction, and she had the gown by this
yeah,
all that kind of crap, and I don't even know how it happened, but it did. And so we had a daughter, and she was sort of instantly shepherded away as soon as she was pregnant. And I had one chance to talk to her before she was gone. And says, yeah, you're just, you were raised Mormon, and you're just not Episcopal. You're not the right blood.
Yeah.
So, fast forward to the 90s, 95 or 6.
So you're basically saying they kicked you out of her life before you even got a chance?
Yeah, I took the mother away. They sent her to, I didn't even know there were like Episcopal convents and Episcopal nuns and stuff.
Gotcha.
I had no idea they even had those. And they took her away and raised her up there and fancy and everything. And I don't know how they did a father substitute or family substitute, but anyway, I ran into her accidentally through a friend of mine that used to teach at University of Florida, Gainesville. He used to teach in the vet department, blah, blah, blah. And he was talking about this gal that looked a lot like me, because he used to be a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, yeah, what's your name? And, Evelyn. And I went, what? Because I heard that was going to be the name. And, which is really funny because I have a stepdaughter named Evelyn too.
Yeah.
But, anyway, and he said, yeah. And I said, well, let me have her phone number. So I called her and I said, hey, was your mother's name Judy? Yeah. I said, did you ever know your real father? No. And, I said, what happened to your family life? I know Judy got married and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, if your mother's maiden name was, I think I may be your father. Yeah. And then, she was like, wow, I need to call you back. So about 15 minutes later, I got a call back. Says, yeah, you must be him. And we just started talking. And then within 2 or 3 weeks, she was in an automobile accident and died with her boyfriend. I guess, yeah, they both died. And never got a chance to see her. But I got a chance to talk to her. And that was kind of a ugh.
I'm glad you got the chance to talk to her, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I never knew the part of the story that she looked like you.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was George Papati that said, that girl here looks like you. Except she's a redhead. Because her mother was a redhead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got a thing for redheads?
Not really, because let's see, my Judith was a redhead, then I had, a couple other different hair colors, and I had, my first wife was brunette, second wife was redhead. Yeah, so redheads more than average, more than there are statistically, because redheads are rare.
Oh, yeah.
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 Was it the first or second who had Evelyn the second, your stepdaughter?
First.
The first, okay.
Yeah.
I figured because you said brunette.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you were recently reunited with her, right?
Well, I even forget how that happened.
I just remember being told
Yeah,
you have another sister.
I can't remember how it even happened. I can't remember who contacted who. Is that sick? And it was recent. It was only
a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been her because she's big active in Facebook.
Yeah.
And found me and looked at my picture and went, oh, that's him. And she found me because she always used to call me Papito. And Papito, Papito, little father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you're 6'6".
Yeah. Go figure. Yeah.
So a little birdie told me that you, was it that you changed words to nursery rhymes, or you changed words to, am I saying this correctly?
Oh, I used to okay, she was raised, what's the word? I told her when she was in third grade, look, I say fuck and shit a lot and I swear a lot and blah. And I said, it's not a good idea for you to do that. Here's why you'll get in trouble at school. That's not me getting you in trouble. And if you do it over at your friend's house, their mothers probably won't let you play with them. And I don't care if you say it.
Yeah.
But just watch where you say it, because a lot of people will shut you out of their lives for it. Particularly because you're little and a girl, and it's not fair, but that's the way it is. So she would, you'd hear her stub her toe in her room and go, oh shit, but never got in any trouble. So I used to, did she tell you that?
I think Mom told me that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I tell her stories once upon a time there were 3 little bears, Papa, Mama, and Baby Bear, and Papa Bear sold drugs, and Mama Bear was out like turning tricks on the quarter to put food on the table. And Baby Bear was a heroin addict.
Did any of the three bears ever yell out, "I got a combo"?
Oh, no. But she got it, she got it. And yeah, I did that.
That's funny.
Yeah, and she was little, 4th grade.
4th grade.
Ask her when you see, it's.
I will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and she was, I was an audiophile, and she was all into the music, playing the music with me.
That's cool.
Yeah, she was my little audio buddy.
Well, I will tell you this. I don't want to say all of my grandparents were crappy, but I had one very crappy grandparent, and then 2 of them that died before I was born, and then 2 of them that lived in a completely other state, so I didn't really know them that well. So therefore, I want my kids to have awesome grandparents, which they already do, and I fully give you permission to do stuff like that with Des, and any future children I may have. As long as he knows he can't go do that stuff out in public.
Well, that's part of the slowly, you make sure that you trust him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, but everyone was very good about it. You'd never know it today.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And, yeah, I just make up fairy tales and substitute junkies and hookers.
And junkies and hookers.
And, yeah. And she loved it. It cracked her up.
Good.
Yeah. But it was fun. And I don't know if anybody else had ever did that.
I've never heard of that before in my life, so probably not.
It's probably happened somewhere.
When you Google all the parenthood stuff, then all these websites that tell you how horrible of a parent you are. Oh. I know, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh. So, what is your current project right now? Like, can you talk a little bit about the company that you are...
Oh, Schiit Audio?
Yeah. What was that name again?
Schiit Audio.
How do you spell that?
Schiit. I didn't name it. My partner's wife named it, or suggested that we name it that way. And, it's a great name. We don't have to ever worry about anybody stealing it.
I never thought of that.
Plus it's just, fans out to a zillion slogans.
Oh, yeah.
If it ain't ours, it ain't shit, and so on. Shit happens. All the stuff that's on all of our t-shirts, and there's a bunch of them. Yeah, so it's Schiit Audio. We build headphone and computer audio stuff, and it's fun. It's fun. The project I'm working on now is a CD transport, which is kind of like a CD player without some of the guts. And that'll be out soon. We got the last mechanisms coming to put it all together. And Jason's a mechanical guy. He does all the chassis and things. So we'll be working with him on getting the chassis together. It's going together a lot better because, about a year ago I was pretty sick and he thought I was going to die. And I showed him.
I'm not laughing because you almost dying is funny. I'm laughing because I never put that together until recently when you're like, I think he thought I was going to die.
Yeah, because he started doing things he shouldn't have doing because he was panicking,
Yeah.
And he wasn't trying to bypass me or anything. He just really thought I was going to fucking die.
Yeah.
But I got too much shit to do for a while.
Yep.
And I'm not interested in checking out just yet so early.
Yeah.
I got a lot of time left to do stuff.
You guys, this guy beat cancer.
Yeah, maybe twice.
Maybe twice.
No soon.
Yeah, we'll know soon. And it's one of those, if I'm allowed to talk about this, it's one of those, if it is cancer, it might be the good news. Because then we'll know why you've been talking like a motherfucking drunk and walking or not being able to walk. And didn't they say if it's cancer, they'll be able to pretty much take it out, depending on what kind of cancer it is?
Well, they said if it is cancer, there's a chance that all my nervous stuff, by nervous stuff, I mean the drunk talking and the sloppy walking and all that stuff will disappear, but I'm not holding my breath. Might get a little better.
He to all of my listener, he tends to be like the 1%. So if it's like, yeah, you have a 95% chance of blah blah blah, he'll be that 5% that doesn't blah blah blah. So this has been with every kind of issue, it seems, for what, 10 years?
Yeah.
With the AFib and going to the hospital at least 2 or 3 times a year with that, and then the prostate cancer.
But the AFib fucking disappears, and then I get cancer number 1.
Yeah. And the prostate cancer, that was like, they were like, oh, don't worry, it's the kind that barely grows.
Yeah.
And then it grew. So it's been definitely a wild ride, not only, of course, for him, but for all of us, because we're his family and we love him, and we're not ready for him to go anywhere yet either, even though Jason was preparing for it. I'm just kidding.
He was terrified.
I know.
He was scared.
I know.
He's going, what the fuck do I do now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but get through this and go on to the next. I'm about through with all this stuff. I'm, just having all these little pains in the ass.
Yep.
Yeah. But hey, if life's too easy, you get suspicious.
Ooh, I gotta quote you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a thing for making quote cards. Because I'm a dork.
Sometimes being a dork is good.
Oh, it's always
and a nerd.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here I am.
Here I am.
Ready for the next.
Ready for the next. So I wanted to ask, before I'm ADD, so I'll jump all over the place. But when you guys started Schiit Audio, did you ever expect it to be like, well, first, did you ever expect it to grow this big? And also, did you ever expect that the majority of your employees would be friends and family?
Well, my old Theta, we're friends and some family.
Mm-hmm.
There were 11 of us. I guess I expected it to get to be about the same size, not double, because now it's over double. I think there's like 25 people or something, maybe 30.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we got this many family in, because I don't hire.
Yeah, I know.
I turn them all over to, I don't want that job. It's like, I did all that shit at Theta. I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
I just want to do products, and right now a lot of other people do heavy lifting. But it was funny. The very first family employee was Tony, and he was there at the very beginning. And he and Alex were always sort of at odds, because Tony couldn't get up in the morning, and
Nothing's changed.
Alex was up at 5 a.m. in there.
Yeah.
Wanted to go home early, and so they always kind of
butt heads.
Yeah, they butted heads, but now it's totally gone on to a total respect for each other.
Yeah.
Because Tony, he's got his weirdnesses, but he just, whatever people ask him to. What Tony's job in the company is what nobody else wants to do.
He does like repairs and stuff, right?
Yeah, he does repairs. But when we bought a machine shop, Tony set it up. When we set up the turntable, like Jason was afraid of it and I was afraid of it. So it was like, hey, Tony, you got this project.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
And he was probably all over it.
He was all over it. Yeah.
He's the weirdo, the one trying to figure out how a vacuum cleaner works.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And, but it's a fun company. I mean, we got a bunch of crazy people. Everybody's a little bit nuts, but they're...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the newest member of the Schiit family.
Yeah.
Which I always kind of somehow thought I would be part of it, but I didn't. I don't know. Because to give people a background, my husband Sean and I came up one of the times that Mike was in the hospital. And our son was, how old was this? Was he like 3 months old, I think?
Yeah,
2 or 3 months old.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
And Mike called over at Schiit and said, "Hey, are you hiring? I'm sending somebody over for an interview." So Sean went in for an unexpected interview in shorts and probably a torn up t-shirt and just looking like a homeless guy, and he got the job, but we lived 90 miles away. So that was the beginning of our very big journey. Like, they say there are several huge life changes, and moving to a new area is one of them. Having a baby is one of them. Changing jobs is one of them. And we got hit with all 3 of those at the same time. So, yeah, that's how we ended up. Well, Sean started there first, and then I think it was a year later, my cousin came down to start working for Schiit, and his wife started working for Schiit, and then I'm now working for Schiit. It's like, I feel sorry for all the other employees, because we're all a bunch of nutbags.
Well, so are they.
Huh?
So are they.
I know, but not
maybe not quite as extreme, but
yeah.
Let's see, how many of us are there? The family. Let's see. There's you, Sean, Bernie, Richard, Tony. Am I missing? That's 5. 5 out of 20. How many do we have? Like 20?
Maybe I would say 20, because there's the people that hide in the back and do sound checks, so I don't see a lot of them during the day.
Yeah. Elvis.
Yeah. Elvis and Mita.
Yeah.
Miles, Eddie. As Jason considered an employee? No, he's. What do you call yourselves? Part ownership? Partners.
Yeah. Partners, owners, partners.
Yeah. He does amps and you do DAX.
Yeah. And when I do DAX, they come out really, or when I do amps, they come out really fucked up. And when he does DAX, they come out really fucked up. And that's what happened to Bifrost too.
Yeah.
And then the anyway. Yeah, but
it's a long story.
Long story, but we're doing good.
Yes.
We're doing good for coming out with products we don't know how to build. Like turntables.
That goes back to the whole try and fail instead of never trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just try not to launch things before you fail.
Yeah. Well, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
But, hey, we've been mostly good. Yeah. And when people don't think I'm dying, I do good. And I have fun, What else? It's like, like today, all these old people that I've known for 30 years, and we're now, we get together, and it's like, why are we dressed up like these old men?
Yeah.
And they're going, oh, I'm going to retire soon, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, what are you going to do when you retire? Watch You Are the Father? I said, I had to watch that shit all day, and I'd want to die.
Yeah.
And I said, and this is actual living, this is truth. People, people of the LA County employees, they all hate their jobs. So they retire. And the average number of paychecks that a retiree gets before he dies are 14.
1,400?
No, 14 checks.
Oh, 14 checks. I got
14 months.
Oh. before they die?
Think of that shit. That's how much they hate being retired. They hated their lot. See, this is really the most important thing. Don't hate your job. Even if you're not making as much money, do what you love. Do what you like. Okay? And, because there's just so many people that get on the freeway every morning and they're driving to this, for a half hour, 45 minutes, or an hour to this fucking job they hate in traffic, and then they're doing it again at night.
Yeah.
And they hate life. They hate their job. And then they retire and they live 14 fucking months.
And then they die.
On the average.
Mm.
That's LA County employees.
That's deep.
Yeah,
That's
so
sad too.
Do what you like.
My last question is always, what's one piece of advice you would give to the world? I think that was it.
I just
right?
gave it, yeah.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Moffat signing off. Until next time. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around. I just wanted to mention that I think it was a day after we recorded this episode, Mike was in fact diagnosed with lung cancer. And so, as you heard in the episode, this might actually be good news because they've caught it so early. And what's going to happen is they're going to remove one of his lobes of his lung, and hopefully that's going to help him get back his speech and his walking, so he won't sound or look like a drunk anymore. So anyway, I just wanted to give that update. Keep him in your thoughts. And he's going to fight this like a mofo, He's a fighter, and he's going to survive this. He's not ready to leave us yet. So, take care. Bye-bye now.